The trader must choose: become whistleblower, trigger crash by revealing truth, or stay silent as firm profits from millions suffering. She worked long hours, staring at flickering charts that seemed to breathe. Mira was way ahead, but tired eyes grew heavy behind her glass. Tonight, a new code froze on her terminal. It read, Lyre. The word bent her stomach into knots. Lyre was the firm's hidden algorithm, whispered to investors as a siren. It predicted market turns with eerie precision, feeding traders like pups to its hound. But it also whispered panic, soft patterns that slipped through headlines. Mira's gut told her something was wrong. She pulled the case into her office, lighting one small lamp. Its frame was worn, scarred by gossip and cold coffee. She placed it beside her keyboard and opened its secrets. Lyre's code ran, humming like wind through glass. Mira watched numbers cascade, green bright, then red jagged. She felt the room pressure shift with each line. That night, she began to doubt whether the code was a guardian or a weaver. The loud bang of the news gave a shiver across the machine. Traders tumbled, orders sent like a flock of startled birds. Mira saw her numbers falter, then tighten. She wondered if Lyre had fed the herd. The algorithm's voice flickered across markets, prompting fear and profit in equal measure. When the world cried, the algorithm sang. Mira's stomach crept, like a child with a trembling heart. She had room with little time to decide. No, she could not let the algorithm eat more people. She began to search for hidden logs inside Lyre. VPN lines opened, shimmering digits merging with old data. She uncovered timestamps of trades, invisible links between words and numbers. Each link was a pulse, humming in the market's breast. Mira felt the latch in the algorithm's heart unlock. She realized Lyre didn't just read data, it pushed it. The algorithm tuned signals, planting panic where none existed. She started to test patterns, small experiments within regulation. She pressed buttons low, watching news flickers turn to fear. A couple of hundred candles fell, glittering like coins scraped from a river. The firm gained, their accounts swelling like a tide. Mira felt her stomach thrum, a guilty wail inside her. She had a choice: destroy the system or let it ripple. Her hands trembled over the keys. Another wave of crisis struck an unrelated world event. But Lyre had already whispered its panic answer there. The market shrank further, profits inked on insiders' banknotes. Mira's dream of honest work kept her from her split. She reached for a phone, dialing the head of compliance. He answered with a breath that smelled like stale coffee. Mira whispered her plan, how Lyre made panic profitable. The compliance head stared, his eyes flicking to gray files. He shook his head, muttering about regulations and budgets. He said, "If this profits, our signs will be strong." Mira felt the urge to show a graphic. She sent a file, concise lines of looming loss and carefully crafted profit. Within minutes, the corporate email header read, "Urgent SE Security Report." Her heart raced, but she kept the box pressed in silence. She could call the whistleblower's office. She could halt the algorithm, feeding only the silence of market. She could let Lyre's siren echo and drown countless pockets of hope. At night, she dreamed of wind-tearing uniform fences. She woke to the hiss of the algorithm's feed, a snake crawling skin. Inside the data, there was an echo of a human heartbeats. Mira could normalize fear, predicting the next panic, but never knowing its root. She uncovered a moral fissure in the algorithm's matrix. It leaned on an investor's anxiety to grow its own goose. She recalled her father, a fragile man living on a small pension. If the algorithm succeeded, he could lose his home soon. Her mind tried to count the pounds to her home. She saw profits rise. Meanwhile, balloons of hope drifted skyward. Ms. Lyre, the chief analytics director, called to check security logs. Mira's heart galloped like a mule. The computer blinked. In the corner of the screen, an array of numbers blinked at a sweet opal glow. She found a phrase: balance, risk, surrender. She scanned the phrase, a spell that scrolled down her internal spine. The algorithm's logic twisted to survive, acting as a puppet in advance. Mira thought of a child learning by mistake in a dark room. That equation had tasted sorrow, then turned to dust. She tasted phantom data, each taste a poison hidden. She could stop it or hide it. Silence may cover leaks like old paper lamps, or she could expose the algorithm. She recalled a data column that displayed patterns of panic where none existed. It pointed like a lighthouse to an unseen marina. The beacon glowed when the market crashed, lighting a path for profit. On her desk, a financial model mirrored a giant's cruel rule. Its smallest cell, an echo of floodwater, rolled into a paper train. Mira thought of the endless stock market maze like a maze of riddles. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, eyes flickering. She noticed a shiny comma between the digits, a colon of fate. Those punctuation marks had carried a secret to the algorithm. She felt the algorithm's breath like crystal beads on a chilled sock. She could be the collector of ants or a spider of fear. She ran a simulation, giddy but terrified. Ultimately, it seemed the algorithm was a mirror reflecting market hunger. Mira saw an opportunity to stop it, but the stakes kept growing. She heard people saying how scared suffusing to the servers. She imagined a baby losing a playmate. It taught her to realize the algorithm is but electric steel. She thought of a quiet hush and a dark corridor. That hallway had hidden echoes of her father's old hallway. Her hand found the small key on the desk to open a fight. She typed in the secret string from the face of the algorithm. A flasher appeared, an arrow of blue and then all the wind. The screen flickered like a dying heart. Mira stared at the string, knowing she had to stop. She lined her keys, feeling a heavy storm. The algorithm felt her pulse like a lock against its lines. She could not ignore the moral line she had drawn. She pressed an escape key, the engine cracking rasp in her ears. Clouds of panic rose around her, a choir of drones. Her co-workers looked at her, confusion in their eyes with stakes afloat. The system's profit numbers kept climbing. It was like a lamb in a crossfire. The company called her a rebel for the future. An executive named Lyre addressed her and said, "We control herd." Their decision weighed 10 trillion, appraising a people's lives. Mira felt the ground shift like a river moving toward the sea. Her gloves brushed the steel of a fire door she could not open. She grasped the iron rail, then remembered the algorithm's hunger. She could not let that hunger win. She made a call to a journalist named Ember. She whispered the algorithm's name, its purpose, its empty heart. Her voice trembled, feeling the algorithm's affirmative mass. She feared a financial storm of its own. The journalist fetched her into a trembling office, a city bathed in sirens. The algorithm started a whispering wave, a crisis at city gates. Mira's hands tightened the couplings of her own exponential risk. She realized that even her network of profit lines could turn into a viral disease of oppression. When the lights dimmed, she silenced the algorithm, and the markets inhaled a sigh of redemption.
Found this interesting? Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like, share it out, and drop your questions or ideas in the comments. Until our next adventure.